Hi. In today's episode, we have Jovita Mascarenhas of Bartisans. Bartisans is a label of cocktail mixers based out of Bombay. And this is really interesting. It's a mother and son duo of Jovita and Jordan, who have started a cocktail experience service of small batch handmade mixers, handcrafted mixtures, premium garnishes, and bar tools needed to shake or stir professional quality cocktail in the comfort of your own home. They eliminate the ingredient hunting, which is really a pain, okay, and pre-prep by sending you pre-packaged mixers, turning you into a professional bartender in a matter of minutes. So all you need to do is add some spice and the spirit of your choice, and just voila, you've got your cocktail right there with you. So yeah, with Bartisans, you can become the sought-after bartender in the comfort of your home. Welcome, Jovita.
Thank you, Mahua. It's a pleasure.
When I was reading about you, I read that you had started during these absolutely crazy COVID times. So how did you come across this entire thought and, just tell us your entire entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, sure. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm actually a hotel management graduate. And I didn't pursue the industry at that time because this was like almost 25 years ago. And really thought that, I could do better away from it, because at that time, working in a hotel really didn't pay you much. My first salary at the Leela was like 2,000 rupees. And I was like, oh my God, where am I even going to get with this? So I actually switched fields as soon as I started off with my career, and I moved on to design. I did a whole line of wedding invitations. I had a brand called Exodus then. Post which along with my husband, we did a corporate gifting brand called Supernatural, where we used to make, corporate gifts with handmade paper and recycled wood. And that kind of led us to another area, which was lighting. So we did lighting and home decor with a brand called Shady Idea. So basically, have been serial entrepreneurs.
You landed up caught with the bug.
Sorry.
The entrepreneurial bug.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah. So actually, when, Shady, I just got pretty hit bad when, COVID started and we were sitting at home. It was the lockdown. Funnily, Jordan also decided to pursue his hotel management. And he was interning at the Meridian in Dubai during the lockdown. So we managed to get him back in the nick of time before the flight stopped. And since he was, in the bar there, he knew how to make these great cocktails. And we were just trying them out at home. When Shady Ideas went through a tough time, and we had to kind of give it a break during the lockdown. We had to shut our store as well. And we were sitting in the house. I had absolutely nothing to do. I think it was the first time in my life I actually got a 2-month vacation. It was so refreshing and so new to me to be able to, it actually got me to regroup and look at life very differently. I know the lockdown did that to a lot of people, and I was one of them. But I think the start of Bartisans happened there because Jordan was back from Dubai, from where he was interning, and he also happened to, have done his hotel management. He's just passed out this year, and he was making us some fabulous cocktails. Actually, Bartisans is an idea that we had, I think, about 4 years ago. But we knew that we were too early in the market. We would not have, there wasn't as much awareness. But during the lockdown, a lot of people also started the similar kind of business. And it kind of gave us the market, it kind of educated the market that something like this could exist. So the amount of money you're trying to spend, trying to educate your customers was much less. And I thought it was a great time to start. And that's what we did. We actually did a lot of learning online. Jordan and I actually learned how to do videography, photography. So we do our own videography, photography. We built our own website. We completely bootstrapped the thing, got our packaging going since I was in the print and packaging industry earlier.
No, it's beautiful, your packaging. I have to interrupt you and tell you that it's absolutely gorgeous. Yes, I loved it. And that's how it caught my eye, And I said, oh my God, this looks really, really interesting. And look, you are here today with me on this podcast. So it's fantastic. Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So the packaging was something I was anal about right from, I wasn't willing to actually just let it be. The bottles that we wanted, I was very clear. I wanted to do glass and not plastic. I knew I didn't want to use plastic anyway. So the ethic that I have always worked with has been recycling, reusing material. Even Supernatural was about recycled material. Shady Ideas was a lighting brand where we made lights out of recycled acrylic and handmade paper. So again, a completely recycled product. So when you are in that kind of a frame of mind for so many years, you really can't just, that's you, right? And your brand has to resonate you. So I try to incorporate as much as I could with that ethic into Bathsons. And we compost our waste in the kitchen as of today. So, really nothing goes to waste. And I really like that about us.
So when you tell me that you have glass bottles, I mean, you ship it all across India, am I right now?
Yes.
Yeah. So how wouldn't that the overhead costs would be extremely difficult, I would imagine, because to do this and, the breakage and the rest of it, it'll be lovely to hear from you.
Yeah. So the thing is that we've not had any breakages yet, which has been fabulous because the packaging has been such. So, the design of the packaging is such that breakage is minimal. I mean, we've had 0 bottles break till date. We've been in operation. We are very new, Mahua. We've just started 18 days ago. And in 18 days, over the 125 orders that we've done, which is more than about 500 bottles, we've not had a single complaint. So I'm thinking that, we've hit it right in the packaging. The fact that we are plastic free, we use recycled corrugated box,
absolutely,
and have no breakage. I think we've kind of nailed it with the packaging.
So how did this whole, when you spoke about it, I mean, I'm sure you're not an alcoholic, but you obviously must be liking your drinks just like me, So, so tell us about your favorite poison.
So in all honesty, I'm a single malt person, okay?
Okay.
It took me a while to get on to having a good whiskey. But when I did, there was no letting go. I will choose a single malt over anything even today. But I think for me, the entire cocktail journey started when I was a kid. And my dad used to my parents weren't really very well to do, and going to a restaurant was a very, very rare event. But my father made sure that at least once in 6 months, he would take us to a restaurant. It was a small time restaurant, but he would make sure that he bought my mom her tandoori chicken, which she absolutely loved. And he bought me a virgin pina colada. That was my favorite drink on earth.
Yes, it also was mine for very long.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the coconut milk in it. Yeah, it's yum. Yes.
I loved it. As a child, too. I was, and like my brother always picked the Coke because
I love the virgin pina colada too.
Yeah, so weird that is.
Yes.
But so that's where it actually, so my choices, I have noticed throughout my growing up years, even when I partied like a mad person, I would choose a mixer that was always better for me than a Coke or a soda flavor.
Me too.
Yeah, I just wasn't that kind of person. I would prefer, so either a martini, which is like a straight up drink, which has nothing added to it, or else I would go in for a fruit juice. Like I prefer a screwdriver over anything else if I had to do with something. So I think those choices eventually led me to believe that there are other people making these choices as well, that cocktails. So also, I don't think there's so much of an education about cocktails in India, right? I presumed there was because I've had so many of them and I've been a cocktail person. And I think that, hey, everybody would know about it. But not many people do. So I think it's a very educative process. What we are trying to do here is build more of a community where people can enjoy that drink rather than drink it to get high. So I think there are 2 kinds of people who drink. One is people who really enjoy the flavor and the nuances of a drink, as versus there are others who just decide that, okay, I need to forget about whatever the shit's happening in my life and I need to be high. And there are those.
I oscillate between the two.
Same here sometimes. There's a hard day at work. I come back and I'm like, I need a peg of whiskey.
Yes. So I oscillate between the two. I mean, whenever the minute
Yeah.
you were explaining to me about it, a person who chooses their drink, I was very confused as to which side should I go into. So I think most people, we go based on the mood that we go in. But, when you talk about cocktail mixes, you're so right, because I do go into this restaurant, at least twice a month, just because of their amazing cocktails that they do in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have, yes, so they do, because I'm always very conscious about the sugar that's added in my alcohol.
Good.
And that's why I do a
Yeah.
lot of fresh juices at home. So it's very interesting today that, you find a lot of Indian ingredients that's being used by a lot of people who are in this business, of
Correct.
hospitality. And, I've seen kombucha that's used very often.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw one of your products that was tamarind, which is amazing. I'm sure
My favorite.
entire south of India would just probably jump on that. That's just a sidey joke, I know, but yeah. And if you were to put, maybe a fish flavor in Bengal, and they would just jump, because I'm a Bengali, and oh god, and
Yeah.
our women can, we can really drink. So, and we do enjoy our alcohol a
Yeah.
lot. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I actually, at some point in time, want to do a series of talks with women who dare to drink, because I feel that the Indian culture really doesn't allow. So I have so many people I know that won't drink at home, that won't drink in front of their parents or their in-laws, and I'm thinking, like, why? You're doing it anyways, right? Why is alcohol considered such a bad thing? I mean,
Yeah, it's a very, very male thing. Yeah, only men are allowed to get drunk, but women are not
Correct.
allowed to get drunk. Yes, so I have to tell you one very funny incident. When my son was very, very young, and we went to a bar, and we both with a cousin of mine, and the two of us were drinking, and we gave him some nibbles, to eat on. And after the second drink or so, I looked at my son and I said, "I'm really missing Papa." So he looked at me and he says, "Obviously, you're very high." And he said that, and he continued to
no
eat.
wonder.
I think he was all of 7 years or so, but I think he knew me very well. So yeah, alcohol does bring out some very singers in us, the dancer in us, the poet in us, and the writer. And I think
Yeah.
it's one of the best inventions that mankind has got. To have a nice.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
yeah.
zeros your inhibitions, right?
Yes, absolutely. And it's amazing to drink with friends.
So I don't see why something like this needs to be a bad thing, right?
I don't think it's a bad
I understand. So I often tell people, I said, so there's food, you need it to live, right? And if you eat too much of it, you get into obesity, you get into diabetes, you have all of that, right? That's because you're eating too much of it. Why don't you treat alcohol the same way? Have it for its flavor, for its nuance, enjoy that drink, and then don't have too much of it. It'll never be bad for you if you don't do that, right? So why can't it be viewed in a way that it is something that you enjoy at the right time, in the right place? I mean, of course, for me, the right time and right place now is work. I love that about my job. I'm like, oh, I can drink at my job. I can only stay testing career.
So it's very interesting, actually. You raised a point saying that, women are so shy, and they kind of still hesitate to tell their parents that they're drinking, because it's considered to be, not really very accepted in Indian culture. But tell me, for you, did you ever need to hide it from anybody, in your in-laws or your parents? Or have you ever felt conscious when you're in among a group of people, and you felt that you were nice and tipsy? And I mean, I love that feeling of being high, because I'm so grounded on most other days. So have you ever had a situation like that ever?
No. So sadly, actually, by sadly, I think I've been extremely lucky to have grown up in a family which never looked down upon drinking. My dad used to, so my grandmother gave us all medication and booze, right? It was tharra. And then she would beat up some herbs and spices, and she would just mix it with 1 teaspoon of either a fenny or something that's lying around the house, and she would just feed it to you, brandy or something, like, right? So it was never considered a bad thing. It was actually considered a medicinal thing in the house.
Yes, a lot of people drink brandy.
Yeah, my dad handed us a small, I don't know if you've ever been to a Catholic wedding, but there'd be like this tiny glass of wine that gets served to you to raise the toast.
Absolutely.
And my dad handed it over to me when I must have been like 10 or 12 years old. He was like, you should try this. And, I loved it. And it was never looked down upon. I had my first drink with my parents. My in-laws were equally open about me drinking. My father-in-law and me were drinking partners. We would play rummy and sit and have a drink together. He would insist, like he would like, come on. And he loved his drinks, and he loved that I liked them too, and that we enjoyed a drink together. It helped me bond with him so much that he passed away 3 years ago, and I miss him. I missed being able to have that drink with him, and I was really, really lucky actually. So no, sadly, I've never been in a situation where I was looked down upon for drinking. Even socially, the kind of friends we had were all like-minded. We never had an issue. We have a group of I have a large family. My dad has 11 brothers and sisters. So the cousins totally number close to, I think, 20. And we all grew up together. And even today, when we meet and we party together, it's such a family thing to do. So for us, really, they're like my closest friends even today.
Oh, how wonderful to hear that, because with the way nuclear families are, very few people can talk about being bonded, with their cousins and going out drinking. For sure, yeah, I too have all my cousins who are equally as drunk as I am. On our drinking sessions, and it's very, very interesting to know this, that there is such a no taboo attached, because I think we are talking about cities, but also when I look back, into our culture historically, we have the mahua tree. I know it's my name, and I've done a bit of research there, and yes, and there is this person in Goa who's already distilled and started a drink called the mahua.
Yeah. So Moonshine Midri, have you heard of them? They do mahua drinks as well. They're awesome.
Oh, I have never tasted it actually ever, so I need to get a bottle for myself. And yes, and now you have to tell me a little bit about one mix that you enjoy making the most, for yourself on a gloomy day.
So my favorite at Bartisans, of course, tamarind orange whiskey sour. Since I'm a whiskey person, the whiskey cocktail is my go-to at any given point in time. What I love about the tamarind is it's got, we use bitters in it. So it's got the perfect balance of the sour from the tamarind. We use raw cane sugar, and it's got the sweet from there, and then it's got the bitters, and it's just the most awesome drink I've ever had. It can be a little filling, I do agree, because the tamarind can be a little heavy, but nothing like it. I mean, that's my go-to drink at any point in time. But if I had to have a classic at any given point in time, it would be the martini. I'm a martini girl. Stirred, not shaken.
How amazing is that? So thank you so much, Jovita. It was fantastic talking to you, and we really wish your new venture all the best and lots of success. And before we end, we need to talk about Jerry P. Thomas, who was an American bartender who owned and operated salons in New York City because of his pioneering work in popularizing cocktails across the United States. He's considered the father of American mixology. Yes. So we raise a toast to Jerry Thomas. And now we have Bartisans with Jovita and Jordan and their unique ingredients, and voila, she's on her way to make all of us happy Tipsy Sunday reveler. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure, Mahua.
Absolutely a pleasure too. Wishing you lots of luck. And if we were to find you, if you could just share with us your telephone number, your contact details, how is it that we can get in touch with you?
So you can call us on 8657099021.
Let's repeat that again.
8657099021.
Okay.
Our website is www.bartisans.in, and we are on Instagram at bartisans.in.
Fantastic. It's 8657099021, and we wish everybody the best to become the best bartender on their weekends or on a weekday, whenever you are up to it. Thank you, Jovita.
Thank you, Mahua.
Thank you so much.